Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Still Talking Podcast. I'm your host, Nathan Smith. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Today, we got a special guest for you. We're covering the actual PF4 event that's coming on this weekend. By the time this airs, you guys probably have seen this. Today with us, we got Ashton Kirby in the studio. Currently 8-1, ranked number 1 in Arkansas and number 1 in the lightweight U.S. Southeast. So, congratulations. You're probably the most decorated fighter as far as like win percentage. I thought there was another guy that we had on here, but your winning percentage is definitely better.
Sweet.
Okay, you're actually fighting for the lightweight championship tomorrow.
Yep.
All right, so first off, I do want to get into right now. You're currently a 3-title champion. You have 3 titles in 3 separate fighting leagues, and then you're fighting for your 4th tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
So give us a rundown of what titles you hold right now.
Well, I hold a SFC title. That's a featherweight title, which I'm not fighting at featherweight anymore, which is why I'm going to have to vacate that soon. But then I have a lightweight title for V3 up in Missouri, pretty sure. Tennessee, Memphis. Yeah. And then another lightweight title for pyramid fights that come out of Little Rock. Yeah.
You're just traveling state to state, kicking everybody's ass.
Yep.
I'm telling you. All right, my guy. So tell us a little bit about yourself. First off, tell us where you're from.
I'm originally from Iowa. We moved here to Little Rock when I was about 8, and been training MMA and grappling, striking, anything for probably 10 years now.
Just a connoisseur of fighting. I feel you.
Yeah, anything.
So, what kind of fighter would you say you are? Like, do you have like I talked to Obed Adorms. He's got a Muay Thai background, and then Juan has a jiu-jitsu background. So, a couple different fighters. Well, like, is there anything that you specifically focus on, or are you just a stand-up boxer?
Well, I mean, I started grappling, on the ground when I was younger, so I feel like that's a strength behind me. But as I move into my MMA career, I want to be a full, well-rounded fighter. So yeah. I want everything. I call myself a mixed martial artist.
Like a freestyle fighter.
Right.
Much respect, man. As far as like, I talked to a bunch of fighters today. I've been talking to a bunch of fighters these last couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. Which big shout out to them. Everyone's been super professional. But as far as like, I guess just like attitude and just like, man, you're super respectful and like you're not any kind of big head. You didn't have any kind of like cockiness, man, and I really respect that about you.
Yeah, that was a little dehydration too.
I appreciate that you're kicking ass, and you're like, oh yeah, I got a couple titles. Yeah, it's a couple,
Just a couple.
Gonna drop one, win another one. You know what I mean? Whatever, fuck it. We got 4. It's no big deal. All right, so tell us. You said you come from Iowa. That's what your dad was talking about before we started, and you've been doing grappling tournaments for how long? You said?
I've been doing grappling tournaments for. I would say about 10 years, probably.
Yeah, I was going to say 2009 is what you said. You said it started about 10, 11 years ago.
I think my first grappling tournament was 2011, actually. So
the big thing for me, because like, is you have some Naga championships, which is like, I when I first started MMA, I was astonished by the Gracies, and you know what I mean. Like I was just a huge Gracie fan. Like I was just like what they did for the sport. So like Naga is like a huge deal, you know what I mean? That's what they do. I just always respected that. You know what I mean? The fact that you Naga, that's cool. Because most people that I talk to are just stand-up boxers, you know what I mean? And it's takedown defense and stand-up, which is cool. But you know what I mean? It's cool to know that you're one of those fighters that if you get into a situation, you're gonna out-grapple anybody, dude.
Right.
That's crazy.
So it's not just wrestling. I got the jiu-jitsu behind me as well. Yeah.
I don't think I misspoke. You probably are the most decorated because no one else that I talked to today, I think, has any kind of other championships. I didn't ask, but you're the only one that brought that up. Yeah, you have grappling championships.
Sweet.
So you're fighting out of Rock City MMA.
Rock City MMA.
Okay. I didn't even ask that. So that is like a family business. Like I was telling your dad's in the studio right now.
Yeah.
Shout out. But. So that's like you guys' family thing? You guys do that? It's a family business?
Absolutely, yeah. He runs classes downstairs while I'm upstairs, and then once my classes are over, I go and train, and that's my weekly routine,
So you're literally the coach's son, though.
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, it makes sense, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got
talent. That's the best way to do it, is having that connection as well, that type of relationship. So.
Well, gosh, man, I'm glad you got in here. I appreciate you much, definitely.
No, thank you. I'm excited.
Dude, it's really cool. Like I said, this is my first real dive into it, man, and it's really cool. I'm glad I got to link up with you guys. Like I said, I've only met up with one MMA club so far, so like you guys are my second. Like I said, I look forward to doing some promos for you guys, man. Absolutely. I think it'd be awesome.
Absolutely.
So tell me about your training partner Taylor Guys,
Mm-hmm.
and he's his current champion, right? You said he won last week.
Yes, that was his fight.
So what's it like
enforcement?
So you guys, you guys have a history of champions like Nate Dreadhead and Solo and all that just signed to Bellator. So you guys have like a lot of good fighters. So it probably like how much do you think it benefits you training with such good fighters?
Oh, tremendously. I mean, that's how you prepare for a fight is
Beat the
through
best,
your
you gotta
teammates.
play the best,
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, I can't be doing ballet and expect me to win an MMA fight. You know.
Yeah. Exactly.
I have to go in and I have to train with my partners the same way I'm gonna fight. So when we get into it, when we get at it, I mean, my training is fighting, so I can get in the cage and fight. So
exactly, man. It's mad. Like I said, it's cool talking to you guys because like, it's such a different prospect. Because like I interview a lot of rappers and stuff like that. So it's different talking. Like I talked to this kid who he doesn't train with a gym. He just works out and he trains on his own, and he's gonna step up. I'm like, that kid's got balls.
Right.
That's crazy.
That's like. Very brave, because I mean that's gonna be hard to do.
I would think it's even harder. You know what I mean? Like you're in a position where you've got basically the team on your back, man. It's you know what I mean. It's not your name on it, but it's your name. It's your family company, man.
Right.
You know, and I think you're doing very well though. I mean, you're obviously. Tell us about your one loss though. When did that come in? How did that come about?
That was in Ohio, just a few months back, I think, and I went into it sick and tried to just push my way, just try to bury my head down and suck it up, buttercup, and go through it. But hats off to him. The guy did, a great job at finding a way in on me. I knew he was a wrestler. I knew he was going to try and take it to the ground. But he
could beat your ass.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it was.
But
I was fine. I was fine in the fight.
And that's got to be the worst kind of fight when you're sick.
Yeah.
I can only imagine someone trying to do, because people don't understand. Like I was trying to explain to someone like. People think that you guys are just like sitting on the ground or like hanging out when like just like doing nothing. And I'm like, a lot of the times you don't see like when someone has you on the ground, they're like Khabib's such a presser because he presses against you.
Yeah.
He's putting all of his weight on you. He's trying to shoot you. His leg.
This was
he's
a
trying
strong
to,
guy too.
You know
he was very
yeah.
strong.
When you're on the ground, someone's trying to get your leg because like when you go to the ground, they can get you a million different ways.
Right.
You know what I mean? Any way you turn, they can do a flip. I mean anything, man. There's a million things you can do. So when you go down, people don't understand. Like you guys aren't just sitting there. There's a ton of stuff you got to keep them from. I've seen someone get flipped to half guard, like from like someone sitting on their back. It was insane.
Yeah.
They can just do anything nowadays.
Yeah,
so.
There's a game to it. It's a game.
So on the ground, even when you're sick, I can imagine that. But if you had won, that'd have been like your Jordan flu game, though. You know what I mean? But.
I mean, after 9 amateur fights, and how many championships and tournaments you've ever been to, out of all that, what do you think would be your toughest and most grittiest fight you had to go through? Because I mean, fighters, you got to go through a lot of adversity, right?
Yeah.
Every fight's a challenge. So.
Right, every fight is a challenge, just because it's hard to stick with it. That's exactly. Number one. It's just hard to have that determination to keep going and dedication to just keep going.
Have you had that one fight that was just got the best of you? Obviously, that one loss, but
right.
Is there one that like you really had to bite down on that mouthpiece and just go like?
Yeah, that was the Marshall Kim fight. That was for the pyramid title, and again, I mean, I seen him pacing before the fight. I seen him looking me down, staring me down. Then he said he's gonna take my soul, and so I was like, oh shit, that's where it got real for me. And once they shut the cage doors and the ref looks at you and he looks at that fighter, he says, y'all ready? Fight, let's go. And, I mean, it was crazy.
I can only imagine. Like I was saying, it's just. Right. It's a whole nother feeling, man. I couldn't imagine. You guys are legitimately going to war. You know what I mean? You're strapping up those boots, man, and no one's coming out.
Who's gonna get the best of who?
How's that feeling of just thousands of people just watching you, ready to book this guy?
I mean, it's an awesome feeling, but it's also nerve wracking. Your body goes through the adrenaline rush and adrenaline dump, but then the nerves start hitting you. But I mean, as long as you just keep fighting, as long as I keep moving, I know that I'll be all right.
I don't know, but I know that like when I do stand up, like when I go up on stage, like dude, for some reason I have no problem standing in a room full of crowded people talking and everybody looking at me. I wouldn't even I don't care. I go live and I'll have hundreds of people. It doesn't bother me, dude. You put me elevated 3 feet above everybody else, I lose my shit. I am like, what is going on? I'm sweating, yo. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I swear to God, you put me 3 feet above everybody else, I start losing it. But once you get on stage and it's like muscle memory, dude. Like once you get in there, it's just kind of go through your motions and. Yeah.
I think that's exactly what it is. It turns into muscle memory, and you just go with the flow.
it's I said I can only, like, we were talking. I was talking with all the guys at OTC the other day, and they were talking. They were all like talking about how excited they were to get in the fight, and they were all like jittery and nervous. And I was like, I'm the same way, and I'm not even fighting. I was like, I'm just excited. Like I said, as a fan, dude, I have been a fan for a long time. You know what I mean? These last 5-6 years, I've just really dove into it and been such a huge fan. And just like I said, as a fan, I'm so excited. It hasn't been here in 9-10 years. This is almost 9 years. But I have press passes. So I'm gonna be sitting ringside. Like, dude, I'm super excited as a fan. Like, it's gonna, like, I'm bringing the mouse because it's gonna be hard for me to like pay attention because I'm gonna be right there watching, man. I'm a huge fan. So I'm super ready for your fight, man. Like I said, as far as like once I sit down with everybody and I get to kind of dive in and talk to them a little bit and see what they got going on, but. I think you are probably the most decorated fighter. Man, how old are you now? You said
19.
19. Oh,
19.
man, that's impressive. God, I feel so old. You not feel old, Joey? It's like young Thundercat in the studio.
So what's it like in the backstage getting ready to come out? The fight, what you do? Do you shadow box? You just
warm up. I'm trying to stay as warm and as loose as I can, while still staying relaxed and calm. Just because I don't want the adrenaline to rush in yet. Yeah. You know, I want to save that for the cage, but. I'm just laying down. I can take a nap if I want. So I'm pretty chill back in the back until I know it's about that time. So I start getting up, moving around, warming up, and it'll go time.
It's go time, man. You gotta flip that switch.
Yeah.
Man. So your dad was telling me you guys have a history of champions coming out of your gym. Like, how many champions do you think that you've like sparred with or trained with? How many champions like roughly?
MMA, grappling. I mean,
just MMA. Like as far as like Rock City MMA, like with you guys at your kind of how many professionals you guys or champions you guys think you have that come through there?
Yeah, anywhere from 5 to 10, I would think.
So you're training with like a lot of high level fight.
Absolutely.
And my thing is, like, I've talked to a whole bunch of fighters today. There's I can count one hand how many of you guys have held the title. You know what I mean? Like, and there's a couple like Jaden. He won his third fight.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen like that for everybody.
No,
you know what I mean? When did you win your first title actually?
My first title was for SFC, and I think I was 17.
So how many fights had you had at that time?
4, 3. I think before that it was 3 or 4.
Oh man, see, and it's crazy because like a lot of people don't understand. Like, I think people think title fights are a lot easier to get. Like I try to explain to people that like you have to show, you can't just win. You know what I mean? You have to show premise. You have to show that you're doing something. Like we were talking about, you can't take someone on the ground for 3 rounds and then expect a title fight.
Right. Yeah.
All right, next question. So, tell me about, like, man, you're fresh out of high school, so tell me kind of about, like, high school. Like, so you were fighting while you were still in high school?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
So you were, like, the man in high school?
No, not at all. No, I
really?
try to keep it very low-key, very secret, just...
MMA is one of those things that, like...
Yeah, no, I just went to my classes, I left school, I tried to get out as early as possible.
Wrestling team?
All. No wrestling team. I wish I would have, or my school would have had one.
School didn't offer one? Or?
Yeah, they just didn't.
See, that was me. Like, I would have been perfect for wrestling. I was like a solid 240 in high school. I could bench 375. I was like, if we had a wrestling team, I'd have broke somebody. Right, but we just never. And as soon as I left, they had one.
Yeah.
So, but that MMA is one of those new sports that's kind of like, you don't see a lot of people in high school playing that sport. So it's like I was just kind of curious how like.
Yeah.
Yo, dude, if I'm stepping in the cage kicking someone's ass for a sport, I'm gonna be bragging.
Yeah.
I was like, I'd have been like, hey, girl, you see that fight? I'd be posting. And my whole locker would just be pictures of me like punching people.
Right now would be the perfect time though, because MMA is like blowing up.
Yeah.
It's
like
at an all-time high for sure. You got that one championship.
Oh,
that's
one.
Like, that's like millions and millions over in Asia and China and stuff, and you got the UFC over here. I mean,
Bellator.
Yeah, we got Bellator. I mean, you got Glory. I mean, you got so many different leagues that you can.
And it just keeps getting bigger.
I say we bring back Pride, man. Just let everybody take steroids again.
Well, I think Pride was.
I'll hit
got sold out. That used to be. I think one.
UFC bought.
Pride
No, UFC bought Pride and bought all
their
their contracts and dissolved them. Yeah, they're not anything anymore. No, I don't know if you ever seen the contracts. There was like an actual Pride contract that got released, and it's not that they didn't talk about steroids. They legit put in the contract that you can do steroids if you want. Like they're like, you don't have to, but you can
But
take
you can.
PEDs. Like, it blew me away that they were like, you don't have to. I was like, I thought they would just leave it out, but like, there's a legit.
So man, if you're only 19 and this is amateur fight and all that, but I would like to think you would at least make a little money if you win that belt, huh?
I don't know if they're doing it based off of ticket sales, but I mean, in previous promotions, sometimes they do give you a commission based off of the tickets that you sell, amount of tickets. So it's not much, but I mean, once I do go pro, I'm still amateur now. But
right now, it's just like this for the
just for doing it. Yeah, just for doing it. You would hope so. I would wish, but. No, I guess.
If you want a title, dog, I'll buy you a bit. Oh, God, you're not 20. You're not 19. You're not going to the bar. He's not going to the bar.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, Dad. We're not buying him a beer. I forgot he's 19.
Cheap old plastic belt.
Oh no, these are legit. These are real deal. Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say they got
nice.
something. I mean,
Like I said, I keep forgetting you're so young, man. Like I said, you're like I was saying, I wouldn't equate you with like a typical high school, like a 19-year-old kid, man. Like you're very
mature.
You're very respectable. You know what I mean? You're not big headed, and I like that about you, man. I think that's really cool. You know what I mean? Because you know what I'm saying? Confidence is key, obviously, but you know what I mean? I like the fact that...
No, I've gotten my ass kicked multiple times. I think it just humbled me. I think that's all.
You can watch my interview. You watch my interviews. I have people come in here and flex. They'll come in here and talk your shit. They'll flex it. And that's cool. I mean, that's what they do. That's their brand. But,
right.
You know what I mean? I respect the fact that you're a down-to-earth, humble guy. You're a humble guy. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, thank you.
Not a problem. So did you play any other sports in high school, or was it did you just fight?
In high school, my freshman year, I played baseball, but that was horrible. Dude. I hated it.
What respect? Oh man, dude, I'm baseball.
It sounds like you just hate everything with fighting.
Listen, I cannot sit in the dugout and watch people swing and miss a ball, and I mean go through. I can't do it.
I feel you.
I have to be. And it's cold too. You're sitting there in the cold, and I'm just like, I could be doing something else.
I think baseball for me. I played football my whole life and basketball, so like my whole life it was like fast paced, snap, snap, snap.
Yeah.
And when I played baseball, I was like, man, we just chilling.
Yeah.
And it's
just too slow.
Look, it's one of those games that like you have to have skill, and I did have skill.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't constant, like hammering 24. I had bad knees, so it was like baseball was awesome because I didn't have to run for an hour straight. I could, you know what I mean, do my batting and do my field, and it was a slower paced sport. So that was kind of I think so.
My team sucked as well, so that's why I didn't like it.
That's never fun.
I think our only win was from a DQ. So
my high school team, I think went like, oh god, I want to say they went like 3-28 in like 3 years. Is there anything else you'd like to cover, man? We're running up here on the end. Is any kind of sponsors you want to shout out, anything like that?
Oh, for sure. I had for this fight, I had 2 new sponsors. Shout out to the sponsors, All Points Transport and MW Constructions. They really helped me out with this fight. It was a blessing to have them on my side for it. But,
absolutely.
As well as Iron Jaw Custom Mouth Guards. He's hooked me up with a very nice piece. I love it. I've been training with it.
That.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. He really hooked me up with that. That was nice.
Hey Ash, before you go, I got get you a question. Tomorrow, McGregor or Cowboy? You got McGregor.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have been more of a McGregor fan just because the guy's crazy. You know, like he's the biggest star in there. So
but yeah.
I want to see him get his teeth kicked out. 100%.
I think Khabib already did that. He kind of humbled up a little bit.
I give it to Conor in the sense of like I wouldn't have a problem with him of who he is as a fighter if that was like if he was like Chael Sonnen. Like Chael Sonnen's a really good guy. He just kind of turned heel for the cameras.
Yeah.
Conor's just a dick. He's that's just him.
But you're gonna watch him get beat up,
Yeah.
Or watch him beat somebody.
Or watch him.
I was explaining to somebody. I was like, Chael Sonnen in the Vanderlei Silva interviews, he's a different person. I was like, Conor's interviews when he fought Mayweather, that's Conor. That's him. Like 24, that's him. Like, that's Conor McGregor. And I was like, man, I just don't. Oh,
what you got over there?
For the Khabib?
Yeah.
For the Conor fight?
Yeah.
Listen, okay. It's Cerrone. Cerrone's OG, no joke. We know this.
Yeah.
And it's at 170. That's his weight class.
Cerrone holds records and records and records.
Yeah, I was
gonna say
if it's gonna be McGregor, it has to be fast. It's gonna be quick. First round, second round.
I would say.
But if it goes the distance, I think. Well, I mean, Conor has some cardio as well. You see the Diaz 2 fight with him, and he just
What we're not going to question, though, is your cardio, because I know you're going to show up prepared.
Absolutely.
Thank you, my guy, for your time. I'm going to cut you guys short. I'm going to cut it short. I'm going to cut it to an in here running about time. Thank you so much. Best of luck at your fight, man, and shout out to you.